Hi, everyone. My name is Dustin Miles. I'm excited to have Marv here today. And Marv, I'll kind of hand it over to you if you want to introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
Hey, fantastic. Thanks for having me, Dustin. Marv McGuire. I lead investor relations for Grovia Capital. We're a multifamily investment firm that invest in Southern Georgia, Central Florida, and the Houston and Dallas Metroplex areas. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, I know was fortunate enough to visit you guys in Tampa not too long, I guess last summer. Was it last summer? Yeah, it was last
I think
summer. So
so, yeah.
but so why, you mentioned Southern Georgia and then Houston and Dallas, and I think maybe there was some
Cent-
Florida in there
yeah,
too.
Central Florida, yeah.
Why those different pockets, and what attracts you to those areas?
Great question. So we live in Tampa.
Hmm.
So we know, and before we moved to Tampa, we were about 6 years in Jacksonville. And then
Okay.
we have some really super close friends that live in Ocala. So we understand that Central Florida market very well. My wife is a hardcore Georgia Bulldog, so we love Georgia and have invested in Georgia for several years. And then I have family in Houston, and I'm from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so we really try to invest and focus on markets that we know or we have a draw to. So it helps a lot.
Awesome. Sounds good. Yeah, I know for me, so I went to, yeah, I think you knew this, but went to Texas, and I like Georgia except when they're playing Texas, because Texas seems to, at least the past few years, have not fared too well against Georgia. So, but anyways, great team though. So, well, cool. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. And then, if you could kind of, I guess, maybe talk about your current kind of team setup, what that looks like, and maybe, how that, came together, which is sometimes kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great story. So my wife Victoria and I started investing in multifamily about 3.5 years ago. We had been investing in real estate for over 20 years, but we got to the point where we were ready to scale and we were kind of sick of the headaches of single family. So we learned the nuances of multifamily and started investing in apartment complexes. And we did that just kind of her and I for about 2 years, kind of as I say hired guns. I mean, I raised money, and my wife's
Yeah.
an underwriter, so we kind of latched onto teams that were already doing deals, lead sponsorship teams, and then we really got to the point where wanted to start doing our own deals.
Mm-hmm.
So we had been wanting to do some deals with another group, a group of three gentlemen, for probably 18 months, and finally found an opportunity to do a deal
Wow.
together. So we all kind of we folded our two-person call it company into their three-person company and created Grovia Capital. And that kind of resulted in, I mean, I think we have about 2,000 doors under management, $150 million. So that's kind of the evolution how we got here. And the cool thing about it is, it really reinforced that, real estate is such a team sport because one of the
Mm-hmm.
partners is a lawyer. One of the partners is an accountant. The other is a management consultant for a Fortune 50 company. And then, I raise money. So it's kind of, and Victoria does underwriting. So it's kind of everybody, it's very complimentary. So it worked out
Mm-hmm.
great. It's not exactly how we planned it, but sometimes you get lucky and it's been just really fantastic for us.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's so funny. I meant to mention before we started recording, just kind of along the lines of it's not how planned. So I was ready to. There's so many times where I've been to the gym, or this morning I was about to go run, and just meeting after meeting after meeting, and
Yeah, oh
then
yeah.
was having to run my son some places and all that. So, anyways, I was there. I was ready to run, uh, but
Yeah.
didn't get to run. So I'm gonna try to get that in later today after meetings and stuff. But yeah, that's awesome. And did you guys? I think I know the answer to this question, but how did you guys meet? Were you in a mastermind group, or just how did that kind of form?
Yeah, we are all in a mastermind group. It's Rod Khleif's Warrior Program. We've all been in there. I think Victoria and I have been in there approaching 3.5, 4 years, and each of
Oh
our
wow.
partners have been in there probably over 5 years. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's it's funny because I meet a lot of I met quite a few people through there, but then I didn't realize they were in there. And I'm like, "Oh, I bet you know such and such or
Yeah, it's a
whoever."
big
And
group.
so,
I think it's
yeah.
like maybe it's up to 3,000 now. It's a big group.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah, that's great. Well, awesome. Yeah, it's cool too, just because you're already in the same groups, already kind of have the same thought processes
Yeah.
and all that, and so and then it's just who do you mesh with and all that, and
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's
And you hit on it, not to downplay. I mean, it's you really got to whenever you're developing partnerships, you got to really make sure that I mean, you're getting married. You don't want to like go a year as a partner and do a deal or two and then be like, this partnership's over. So you
yeah,
really got to take your time and figuring out personalities and values and long-term goals and all of that. So
yep.
it can't be overstated.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's because I've been in some groups similar to that in the past. I remember I've had people come up to me, and I'm sure you have too. And they're like, "Hey, so nice to meet you. Hey, you want to go? I have a deal. You want to go jump on the deal, and you want to go sign the
Yeah,
loan?" I'm like, "Who are you?"
yeah, exactly.
Like, no offense, but
Yeah, I don't even know you. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. What's
people
your
reach
last
out to
name?
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's funny. Um, well, cool. And then I guess did before or, when you guys were first getting into multifamily, were was your wife like, I'm doing underwriting, and then were you like, I'm doing IR, investor relations, or did you kind of, I guess, how did that come about, or did you know exactly what you wanted to do, kind of, as you guys were stepping into it, or did you just kind of start doing it and you're like, hey, I like this?
Yeah,
Just curious how that developed.
it's funny because it's like the story is the polar opposite. So,
Oh,
I spent 25 years in the military. I'm from outside of Fort Worth, Texas. My wife always says I never met a stranger, can talk the paint off a barn, just that thing. After I retired from the military, I went into corporate sales. So, I've always
oh,
been, knowing how to sell, know how to talk to people. So I knew that I was going to be investor relations and raise capital.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Victoria is a lot more, as you've met her, is a lot more
Mm-hmm.
reserved than I am. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we decided to get started in multifamily, it was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do in this industry, and I'm not sure I
Yeah.
want to be in this industry. And then
It's
I was like,
fair.
"Well, you're
Yeah.
super detailed. Why don't you get into underwriting?" And then I can remember her analyzing our first deal, and she was like, "Man, that is a lot of zeros. This is pretty scary." But,
Yeah.
we kind of worked through the fear and worked through the anxiety, and she's just become really, really good at it, and she loves it. But it wasn't, definitely her scenario was not like mine, where I was like, this is what I'm going to do, and I think I could be very
Mm-hmm.
successful at it. She was like, I have no idea, and kind of had to feel her way.
Yeah, that's so cool. I knew you were in the military. I didn't know about the sales background. That makes complete sense. So, that's great. Um, and then I guess what did that first deal? I know you guys been been in real estate for 20 years, so maybe it wasn't quite as daunting getting into multifamily, or maybe it was. But what did that first multifamily deal look like for you guys?
Certainly. So it was a 160 unit deal in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
And that we were co-GPs, still are co-GPs on the deal, obviously.
Mhm.
And it was, you know, when you're raising money, Victoria's still figuring out where she fits. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to raise money and try to get us on a deal. And
Mhm.
everybody's like, well, you need to be able to raise $1 million, or every team's a little different. Maybe it's 500,000, maybe it's a million, what have you. And so I was really going around shopping my wares like, hey, I can raise $1 million to various teams.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of no's. Hey, you're brand new in this industry.
Mm.
Hey, raising money is really hard. I think it's going to be a lot harder than you think it is.
Mm.
Investors are, it was 23, investors are
Yeah.
really wary right now.
Hmm.
So finally I got a lead sponsor team to give us a chance and was very, very fortunate to raise, almost $2 million on that first deal. And then it really kind of took off from there because the word got out that, hey, this guy can raise money. And so, I started getting a lot of phone calls and stuff like that. So it's been that law of the first deal that people talk about uh, really works if you're fortunate enough to kind of meet your objective.
Yeah, I mean, 2 million or almost 2 million on your first raise. That's awesome. That's great. So it's a testament to, I mean, and that's, I guess just for every watching this, this, I mean, this isn't people buying a stock or even a car. I mean, this is, I mean, I guess it's a really nice car. It's 50,000, $100,000 at a time, a lot of money. I mean, I know a lot of people probably listening to this, probably their first jobs or first job out of college, they probably made, less than that, or at least I did. So, I mean, it's just it's a lot of money it's a lot of trust. There's a lot of, relationship building and I don't know, out of that, almost $2 million for you, was that a lot of people that you've met for a long time, or you got some newbies that were just like, hey, I like Marv, he's a nice guy, or what that kind of, if you remember, maybe it's too long ago, but if you recall what that looks like for you.
Yeah, it was mainly friends and family for sure. Uh, I heard analogy lately that I forget who I heard it from. Like, there's three different trust curves. There's the trust curve. Investors have three trust curves. Your trust curve, how much they trust Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
The market asset type, how much they trust multifamily in Dallas, for example, and
Mm-hmm.
then the trust curve of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the trust curve for Dustin or Marv trumps the other two by an order of magnitude. But the
Mm-hmm.
goal is to, have your investors as high on each of those trust curves as possible. So on our first deal, it was family and friends and that I've known for decades, Navy people that I've known
Right.
for decades, veterans, federal contractors,
Yep.
family members. So it was mainly a focus of those type of folks.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I've never really thought about those different trust curve. It's always, I've always kind of thought, you've heard it plenty of times. It's, who you know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like how you kind of folded in, the market and then, the deal, as well. So that makes a lot of sense. And the fact that, the trust curve for you and I, it's got a, like you said, magnitudes higher,
Yeah.
much more so than those others, because you can have this awesome deal, but if you're, the jockey's not doing well for whatever reason or has their eye off the ball, like, a good deal can go south, pretty quickly.
Quickly, for
So
sure.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
that's true. We
So
both know that's true.
is there, on your, as far as the, investor relations side and all that, are you guys, do you kind of, in your CRM, are you reaching out to people on a, monthly, quarterly basis, or, just how are you kind of nurturing people, or what does that kind of look like on your end?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we use Go High Level.
Hmm.
And, obviously, like you, I'm super active on social media,
Hmm.
mainly LinkedIn and Facebook. And once we get people into our CRM, we try to stay in front of them weekly. So we have a
Hmm.
weekly email newsletter. And once folks get into our kind of investor pipeline, if you will, They get a series of about 10 emails spaced about every fourth day. And
Okay.
the first one's like, hey, thank you so much for your interest and, allowing us to add you to our CRM. Here's our core values, integrity, transparency, and authenticity.
Hmm.
Uh, and then, the next emails are really, hey, why choose multifamily and what's an IAR? What's an equity multiple? What's forced
Hmm.
appreciation? Just trying to educate people on exactly what
Yeah.
the industry is all about. And then that last email is kind of what to expect going forward. Hey, you're going to get a Saturday email from us every week, kind of with an update on what we've been working on and, what's any news that's affecting this industry. And then if we have a deal, you'll get a deal alert and you'll be able to review that. And if it's something you'd be interested in, we can have a call. We'll do a webinar. So it just kind of flows like that. So we're in front of
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
investors every week.
Awesome. Sounds good. And I guess, are you trying to, is there anything that you kind of think moves the needle? Are you doing, investor dinners? Or are you doing, Zoom calls with people individually? Or are you, are you more of a phone call guy or what? I get, or texting people. Are there any, items on your kind of, that you do regularly on a weekly basis that you feel kind of moves the needle for you?
I'm a phone call guy.
Hmm.
So I try to call several investors every week.
Hmm.
And then Victoria and I'll do a video every month,
Oh, cool.
kind of to get, just a fun video. Maybe it's
Yeah.
part of it's educational, part of it's kind of goofy. Uh,
Yeah.
and one year we did an investor field trip and we
Oh,
visited
cool.
all of our properties in Savannah. And we had, oh my gosh, we had like 40 people attend. We rented a
Oh,
VIP
wow.
bus. We had two really, really large dinners. It was fantastic.
Hmm.
The logistics were crazy putting it all together. So
Yeah.
we did that in 24. We didn't do one in 25.
Mm.
Uh, and we're considering whether or not to get one done probably not this year because our son's getting married this summer, so yay.
Oh,
But
cool.
probably
Yay.
next year. Probably next year we'll do an investor field trip.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I have to ask, when's the big day?
25 July, man. 25 July. We're so
Oh,
excited about
cool.
it. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome. Well, cool. And then I guess just in terms of what are your goals, for this year and just and kind of what, it's funny because yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the book. Atomic Habits. Yeah, I was doing a book club and so we did Atomic Habits. Any habits or anything, kind of helping with, I guess, what are your goals for this year? And then, any habits that you're taking to kind of, help support those?
Yeah, for sure. Goals for this year. I mean, you hate to say it's deal specific. I mean, business goals, I
Hmm.
try not to set. I mean, obviously, we'd love to do 3 deals a year is kind of our quote unquote goal, but some years you're not going to, some years we may do zero. So, I mean, our goal, we'd love in an ideal world to do 3 deals this year. We don't have anything under contract, but we haven't closed anything this year. We did 3 last year. So, business goals would be to try to do 2 to 3 deals a year. Uh, Habits, you know, uh, well, personal goal, I want to walk 100 miles or hike 100 miles on the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, cool.
So I try
Yeah.
to go on a 5 day trip in the spring and a 5 day trip in the fall to get that done. My goal is to do the whole thing over the course of my life. So
Hmm.
I got to get busy because I
Yeah.
just only started. I've only got a few hundred miles under my belt. And habits, obviously, try to exercise, if not daily, at least 5 times a week, whether it's a stiff walker or time in the gym lifting weights. And then I try to do my devotionals in the morning. I try to read my Bible and
Awesome.
read something that makes me better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's great. Well, cool. Yeah, I guess how do people get in touch with you? What's, website? I know you're all over LinkedIn. What's kind of if you want to give a few things, feel free to give them. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way is probably LinkedIn. All my contact information is on LinkedIn, and my profile is just Marv McGuire. As you can search, and I'll pop up. I'm out there almost every day. And then our website is groviacapital.com, which is Grovia capital.com, and you can get to me via the website as well.
Awesome. Well, sounds good. Well, really appreciate your time. Everyone, please feel free to reach out to Marv. Super nice guy and just a wealth of knowledge. And anyways, I've really enjoyed getting to know him and his wife, Victoria. So, anyways, appreciate your time and we'll talk soon, Marv. Thank you. See ya.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Dustin. Bye bye.
See ya. Bye.